Hey.
I am so jazzed to have you on because I just need to introduce you as the entrepreneur's secret weapon. And I just want to let everybody know that you have been a virtual assistant for over a decade. You've been a mentor to others, and you even wrote pretty much the book on the topic, Becoming a VA. And I just thought it'd be great to have you here and ask you some questions because I know a lot of people want to get jobs online. And virtual assistant, that sort of position, you hear it, people like hiring for them or asking how to become one, but it's still kind of like a murky topic. You can't really go to your local government work help place and be like, hey, I want to be a VA. They're gonna be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So if you would, Tracy, could you just tell us what is a virtual assistant?
So a virtual assistant, first of all, is a business owner. So we're not getting jobs online. We're running a business and building a business. And we handle all the behind-the-scenes activities for other online entrepreneurs and oftentimes even brick-and-mortar entrepreneurs. So we're the behind-the-scenes people making things happen.
Awesome. And the thing is that you've been this for over a decade, probably. I don't know if they even have, how did you become one 10 years ago?
Yeah, so I got my start. I was working a job. I was vice president of a finance company. I was working, 80 plus hours a week, commuting back and forth to Atlanta. I had, small kids at home and I had teenagers at home, and I never got to see any of them. And I was talking to a friend one day who is a coach, and she said, you need to become a virtual assistant. You're great at the admin stuff. You've got very strong admin skills. You're always asking people, how can I help you? And taking on projects that you're not getting paid for, you need to translate that into income. And I thought, all right, so I went home and did what I could. This was back in 2007. So there was almost no information at all. And built a crappy website. It was like this on a Saturday. By Monday, my business was born. Told a few friends. I was very heavy into networking in Atlanta, so everybody knew who I was. Told a few key people who I knew would spread the word, and within 2 months, I was at home doing this full time.
Nice. Wow. So that's very interesting because I hear a lot with virtual assistants, a lot of people who are doing their networking offline, but you just started by just letting people know, hey, I'm badass, I can help you, pay me, pretty much. So for now that it's, flash forward, we're 2017, how does somebody now become a virtual assistant?
Again, you're creating a business, so you need to stop and figure out what it is that you do for people, where skills, what kind of things do you like to do? What kind of things don't you like to do? And that might take some time to figure out, especially if you're coming from a corporate world and just getting into online business and you don't really know what you don't know at this point in time. But the biggest thing is to just sit down and figure out, what are your skills? Are you good in customer service? Are you great with computers? Where is it that you can actually just dive in and get started? And then you need to start creating packages and services based around your skill set.
Okay, and so packages, so you aren't doing any hourly sort of pay?
I have stopped doing dollars for hours. I find, especially with what we do, number one, you make more money with packages. I absolutely suck at tracking my time. So I'm always giving time away to my clients when I was doing the dollar per hour, because I would forget to write stuff down.
Wow.
And I would have to always err on the side of the client. So either I would, probably undercut what I had done or just not write it down. And all these little tasks that take 30 seconds to a minute. I never wrote that stuff down. So for me, switching over to the packages just made so much more sense. I make more money and I work less.
Oh, awesome. And for packages, do you have something you're the entrepreneur secret weapon. So obviously you are working with just 6 to 7 figure people according to your website.
Exactly.
but for other VAs, they might think more to their competencies. Like maybe they're really good with technical stuff. I've heard that people consider themselves tech VAs as opposed to other kinds. Okay, so that's really awesome because you kind of, to be a VA, you have to be part employee and pretty much part entrepreneur at the same time.
To an extent, but I really want to get people out of this employee-employer mindset. We're not employees. We don't get treated as employees. You've got to be very, very careful about that. The IRS is incredibly strict on treating subcontractors like employees. So you've got to be really super careful about that. Not to mention, you want to be treated like a business owner. You are a business owner. You're running your own business, and you want to be treated as such. You don't want to be treated as an employee. So I really, really try to teach both from the client side and from the VA side, get out of that employee mindset.
Awesome.
So, yes, to an extent, I see where you're coming from as far as we're doing the work. So in a way, yes, we are, like an employee, but we're subcontractors. It's like hiring a plumber to come fix your plumbing. He's not your employee. He's coming to provide a service. We provide services for people.
Gotcha. It sounds like you definitely tailor your business to make sure that people understand there's clear boundaries. This is what you get. This is in the package. If you want more, I assume there's maybe like an upselling or a downselling depending on their needs.
It depends on what they want. I specialize now, so I no longer offer general VA services. I specialize in 4 different categories. That is all I do. And then I really focus on coaching and teaching other women how to use the skills they have to create their own virtual assistant business.
Gotcha. Okay, well, in just ripping off that, what do you think is required for someone to start up? Just like having the tools that they need, but also the personality type, because it sounds like not just anybody could be a VA.
No, you have to be self-driven. If you're going to sit around and just wait for somebody to come tell you what to do, you're not going to make it. You've got to be self-driven. You've got to be out there going after the clients, but you also have to be continuing your education. You've got to be building your skill set, whether it's technical, whether it's strategical, it's in marketing. You've got to be learning as much as you can. The more you learn, the faster you're going to grow and the more money you're going to make. So you have to be very self-driven. You have to be organized. And this is an area that I really, really sucked at for a very long time. I was very not organized. And it hurt. It hurt my business. So once I learned to get organized, then things worked a lot better. But if you're not organized, you're going to forget to do things. Balls are going to get dropped. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have unhappy clients, and you're going to lose money. So you've got to be driven. You've got to be organized. And you've got to love what you're doing. If you're not loving this, you're not gonna make it. It's like you have to have the passion for it. I have to be very strict on having a work-life boundary because I will work all the time if I don't, and my family will never see me. So I have to force myself, and I still struggle at it. I have to force myself to stop working at night. I don't work weekends very often, so. You've got to have that structure. So those are just some of the things that you need to get started.
No, I mean, it's true. When you work remotely, and I've done it before, it's very easy to just be like answering emails when you're trying to sleep, for sure.
My emails do not even come to my phone.
Oh, that's using your noodle. But speaking of that, what do you think, besides having a computer and internet access, what kind of tools is going to be like, if you're going to start with this, you need to at least have this software?
So you need to have Office. You need to have a website. It doesn't have to be fancy. It could just be a one-page website, but you have to have somewhere to send people that list your skill set. So and tells a little bit more about who you are. So, maybe a 1 or 2 page website. You need to have some kind of a project management system. And in the beginning, you might be better just pen and paper. But I found for me, once I started using a project management system, I used Teamwork. That made all the difference in the world for my business. It really allowed me to get so much more organized, especially when I started building a multi-VA team. And at one point I had over 30 clients and almost 20 team members, and I'm trying to juggle all these projects and tasks and people. If I tried to do that just using pen and paper, I would have gone absolutely insane.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
need to have some way to track everything. You need to have some sort of an accounting system, whether it's QuickBooks, whether it's FreshBooks, 17 Hats, something to track. I used Excel. I've used Excel up until this year. 2017 is the first year I'm actually switching over to QuickBooks because my accounting has now become a lot more complicated with all the different programs and services that I'm providing. It's no longer just VA support. So I'm actually having to switch over to QuickBooks and get off Excel. But, for years I just used an Excel spreadsheet and it worked fine for me. But you need some kind of an accounting system. You need a way to track your time. And again, teamwork will track your time, especially because in the beginning, most people are hourly based. So you need some way to track that time. Those are really the main tools that you're going to need in the very beginning to get off and running. You don't need to spend a whole lot of money. The biggest thing is to have a good computer with high-speed internet, and probably need a printer.
Awesome. I mean, it's always nice to have like a online job that doesn't require like an arm and a leg and a home phone line. So, well, Tracey, thank you
I've run off my cell phone forever. I don't.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, before I let you go, just give like a quick pitch to your VA mentoring, because I think for some folks who are just like lost and they're like, I know this is like a good tip to get started, but I'd rather talk to a person and get some like real life advice. Just quickly talk about your VA mentoring so people can find you later.
Sure. So I've got different packages based on your individual needs. The best thing is to just set up a strategy session with me. I call it a hell yeah business breakthrough session. And you can find that. You can go apply for that. It's Tracey-Osborne.com/breakthrough. That's TRACEY-OSBORNE. And just go through. There's a brief application there, and that will kind of give me an idea of where you're at, so I know when we get on the phone what we're going to talk about. But it's we're going to talk about your business, where you're stuck, where you're going. And then if you're interested in learning more about coaching, we can definitely talk about that, but it's really a no-pitch call unless you actually ask me about it. So that's the best way to get started. If you're very brand new to this and you just have no clue, go buy my book, becomingava.com. It's cheap. It's like $5.97 on Kindle. So go get that. That's going to take you, it's a really thorough guideline of how to get your whole business up and running.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Tracey, for your time. I really do appreciate it.
My pleasure. I had fun.
Thanks.